and welcome. This is the news on NTA International, and I am Lami Ali with the headlines. ECOWAS extraordinary meeting of heads of state and government on Bamako mediation talks holds next week. House of Representatives to investigate alleged resignation of more than 300 soldiers. Stakeholders reiterate commitments to completion of Ajaokuta Steel Company before the end of 2023. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has resolved to do everything within its power towards mitigating political crisis in the Republic of Mali. To this end, an extraordinary meeting of heads of state and governments of the sub-regional organization is to be held on Monday next week to further deliberate on issues raised at Bamako mediation talks with a view to finding lasting solutions. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports that President Muhammadu Buhari, who participated in the peace talks, is back in Abuja.
The coronavirus pandemic notwithstanding, President Muhammadu Buhari and 4 other West African leaders converged on Bamako, the Republic of Mali, on a crucial mission critical to peace, security, sustainable democracy and development in the West African nation. Their engagement was in furtherance of the ECOWAS mediation mission led by Dr. Goodluck Jonathan to broker peace and compromise amongst the political actors. Therefore, apart from listening to a formal briefing by the former President Goodluck Jonathan on the ECOWAS mediation efforts, President Muhammadu Buhari and his counterparts from Niger, Ghana, Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire held talks with the leader of the opposition, Imam Mahamoud Dikko, representatives of the Opposition Alliance, M5 and the civil society organizations. The host president, Ibrahim Keita, also briefed the heads of state and government on the socio-political situation in the country, especially the disagreements that spiraled into protest and violence. ECOWAS chairman and president of Niger, Muhammadu Isufu, who briefed journalists after the talks that lasted more than 8 hours, said the sub-regional leaders have agreed that there would be need for a compromise to protect the peace and integrity of the West African nation. He emphasized that allowing a political crisis to fester in Mali would affect the security situation in West Africa, especially the neighboring countries. President Isufu expressed optimism that the forthcoming extraordinary meeting of the ECOWAS leaders on Monday will chart the best way forward. Also speaking, Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo explained, however, that the ECOWAS protocol would be followed. He maintained that the tenet of democracy adopted by the sub-regional body clearly spells out that a president can only be voted into power and voted out by election except he completes his tenure. The Ghanaian leader noted that the protocol would be adhered to towards ensuring safety and peace in the sub-region. President Muhammadu Buhari, who has returned to Abuja in the early hours of Friday, was received at the airport by FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, Chief of Staff to the President Professor Ibrahim Gambari, Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu, Director General, Department of State Services Yusuf Magaji Bichi, and other senior government officials. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Former Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara has formally dumped the PDP, a party on whose platform he got re-elected into the Green Chamber of the National Assembly. He is now a member of the governing APC. The chairman, caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee of the APC and governor of Yobe State, Maimala Buni, disclosed this while briefing journalists after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambu brings us the details.
Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, who left the governing party in the build-up to the last general elections, was granted audience by President Muhammadu Buhari. He was accompanied to the State House by the chairman, caretaker, and extraordinary convention planning committee of the APC, Governor Mai Mala Buni of Yobe State. The meeting with the president lasted about 30 minutes, after which the Yobe State governor spoke to newsmen.
We are here to see Mr. President and brief him on our effort rebuilding the party.
People may be surprised to see you with the former speaker.
Well, they shouldn't be surprised because the former speaker is a member of APC. And
what do you mean is?
He is because the reason for which he left the APC is no more there.
So is he back now?
Yeah, he's back.
So what did the president say?
No, he welcomed him. He's happy with the development. That's what he's looking for. Yeah, we are rebuilding the party, and these are the steps we are taking towards rebuilding the party.
So how far are you going to go to get everybody back into the party?
Well, we are meeting all our aggrieved members, particularly who have interest in coming back to the party. They should feel free to do so.
What assurance are you going to give to the returnees that they are going to be given fair treatment once?
Well, we will do justice to all our members, and that's what will bring peace. That is what will guarantee peaceful coexistence. That is what will guarantee the consolidation of the party, the rebuilding of the party. Without doing justice, you cannot achieve that. And we are sure of doing justice to all manner of our members.
Part of 2023 strategy?
Well, of course, not only 2023 strategy. This party, we are rebuilding the party to outlive all of us. It's not about a specific time or period. It's not about election. It's not about electioneering. It is about building a party.
The former speaker, Mr. Yakubu Dogara, did not say much on the development when confronted by NTA News.
I will talk at the appropriate time. Don't worry yourself.
Yeah, but are you back in APC?
Don't ask me any questions. I won't answer. I said I will talk. I have my mouth now. I will talk at the appropriate time.
Mr. Yakubu Dogara is currently a member of the House of Representatives representing Bogoro, Das, Tafawa Balewa Federal Constituency in Bauchi State, won on the platform of the PDP. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And the House of Representatives has described as disturbing alleged resignation of more than 300 soldiers of the Nigerian army. An investigation has been instituted on the matter. Security breaches in parts of the country have kept the armed forces on alert, says the House Committee on Army, which has been mandated to conduct the investigation. Chairman of the committee noted that the Parliament is conversant with workings and procedure in the military, but that it needs information on the situation.
I want to assure Nigerians it's going to be the real outcome. It's not going to be speculations again. We are going to give Nigerians the real reason why 356 soldiers have resigned, or either they are more or they are less than that number. It is investigation that is going to reveal that.
The Chief of Civil Military Relations, Nigerian Army, promised cooperation with the committee. The meeting went into closed door. In another development, Chairman of the House Ad Hoc Committee on the need to relocate tank farms from residential areas is to visit Lagos to engage stakeholders. Chairman of the committee, Representative Sajo Sogun, during an investigative hearing says the safety of lives and property should come above every other consideration, citing loss of lives during fire incidences.
Tank farms located in the residential areas of Ijegun, Kirikiri and others is a huge disaster waiting to happen, and the committee has a task to adequately carry out the assignment in the best interest of the people and national development.
We cannot continue to ignore the undeniable fact that the location of many of these tank farms in places of residence or close to areas of high traffic represents a clear and present risk.
Among stakeholders at the hearing where the Department of Petroleum Resources, Association of Ijagun Satellite Town Forum, Nigerian Ports Authority, and Association of Tank Farm Owners from the National Assembly. And the coming on stream of the Ajaokuta Steel Company before the end of 2023 is non-negotiable. Senate leader Yahaya Abdullahi, who led the federal government assessment team to the facility, gave the assurance. Mie Ogidi reports.
Most of the plant is actually under the ground.
Ajaokuta Steel Company, a child still crawling at 41, an inactive plant hosting active staff. Lamido Bello did not make good use of his youthful age, and Ajaokuta Steel is to be blamed.
I joined this company in 87, February. Then you can see my head now. My youthful age, I use it here.
The frequency of visits to this plant is high. Here is another from the Senate and the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, with promises to make this 41-year-old child crawling to work.
We hope within the next 3 years, this particular plant will start production.
Quietness replaces noise in a complex sitting on 4,000 hectares of land, hosting 10,000 housing units, 60 kilometers of road crisscrossing, and 3 airstrips, as well as over 45 factories ranging from power plant, steel, metal, among others.
Within the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, before he leaves office in 2023, that we should achieve Ajaokuta by the grace of God.
The Finance Committee is engaging the Afrexim Bank and the Russian Trade Center that made some pledge of $1 billion and $0.45 million. So it's a different regime. We've never gone any this far before.
There is this school of thought that says life begins at 40. And if that school of thought is anything to go by, then Ajaokuta, that is 41 years old this year, 2020, has just begun his life. Now we have a federal government delegation to activate this plant. Nigerians and the world is waiting to see whether this dream of attaining 40 before beginning its own life will this time around will come to pass. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja. More news after the break. Do stay tuned.
Nigerians, let us take responsibility. Stay healthy, stay safe, and curb the spread of the virus. Take responsibility. The coronavirus spreads from one person to another. Let us avoid crowd gathering of any kind for any reason. Take responsibility. Avoid traveling from one state to another during these lockdown restrictions. Obey all the rules that are put in place. Take responsibility. Stop spreading fake news and unverified reports about the coronavirus. There is no known cure for COVID-19. Take responsibility. Observe all the measures that can help stop the spread of the virus. Together, we can do this, but only if we take responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
And thank you for staying with us. COVID-19 cases in the United States surpass 4 million as Spain says it may be experiencing a second wave of the pandemic. Joyce Ometo brings us an update of the global scourge.
Just like many countries around the world, Nigeria continues to record significant increase in coronavirus infections. Cases in Lagos State have exceeded 14,000. Other states with rising cases are Abuja with 3,376, Oyo 2,306, and Edo 2,105. Following closely are Rivers, Delta, Kano, Kaduna, Ogun, and Ondo states. The latest statistics provided by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control reveal that Nigeria now has 38,948 cases, 16,061 persons discharged, and 833 deaths recorded. In Africa, 795,509 cases have been recorded, with 16,796 fatalities, while 451,928 have recovered. The head of the International Federation of Red Cross, Jagan Shapagain, is warning that the coronavirus crisis could spark huge waves of fresh migration once borders reopen. He added that he was deeply concerned about the secondary effects of the pandemic. Now, this is coming as the U.S. surpassed 4 million cases of coronavirus on Thursday, after more than 1,100 new deaths from the virus were reported in a single day. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control predicts increased fatalities from the virus in coming weeks. Meanwhile, Spanish health officials are saying that the country could be experiencing a second wave of coronavirus, as France, Germany, and Belgium are reporting a surge in infections. On the global picture, statistics published by Worldometer as at 6 p.m. Thursday show that more than 9.6 million patients have recovered from coronavirus. 15,772,036 cases have been confirmed, while 638,648 persons have died since the pandemic began. Thanks for watching. I am Joyce Ometu.
And still on the pandemic, Nigeria is presently in the community stage of transmission of COVID-19, and health watchers say it has become pertinent for owners of businesses to ensure strict compliance with COVID-19 protocols in order to curtail the spread of the virus. Justina Itim takes a look at the spread of the disease through public spaces.
On the 30th of January 2020, the coronavirus disease was declared by the World Health Organization as a public health emergency of international concern. Since then, the disease has continued to spread around the globe, and Nigeria at the community stage of transmission.
When you have cases of people in communities with COVID-19 that you cannot establish the contacts, you know that there's a community transmission going on.
Apart from person-to-person transmission, it is a known fact that coronavirus can be transmitted through contacts with surfaces such as doorknobs in public spaces, tables, exchange of money between individuals, use of ATM machines, among others. But are people aware of this mode of transmission?
Yes, I'm aware, and that is why as soon as I finish operating the ATM, I decided to wash my hand.
Well, they should have sanitizers in their vehicles, and the passengers as well should have sanitizers in their bags, so that as soon as you exchange, you can sanitize your hands.
Experts say to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in public spaces, owners of businesses must adopt these measures to stem the spread of the disease. In Calabar, Justina Item, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has assured Lagos residents that the likely challenges due to the partial closure of the third Mainland Bridge will be minimal. The ministry gave the assurance during an inspection of the bridge in preparation for the closure scheduled to begin at the stroke of midnight Friday, July 24th. Dr. Oguyemi reports. We seem to have some challenges with our audio in that report. Moving on, the popular saying that many days for the thief and one for the owner played out in Abuja as luck ran out on a child trafficker who operates an orphanage home in Chukuku, Kuje area of the council of the Federal Capital Territory and has been arrested by operatives of the DSS. Elizabeth Omorui reports.
The city of Abuja is that serene environment, but in this lies a known suspect who specializes in trafficking children. Earlier this month, the arm of the law caught up with this 45-year-old woman who allegedly collected 74 children, claiming to foster them at her orphanage in Kuje Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory.
With one habila that make me to know the children. I have never met their parents.
Investigations by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Persons in Trafficking, NAPTIP, concerned body in such matters, show that 25 of the children are in Suleja, Niger State, 24 in Abuja, 5 in Enugu, 10 others in Owerri, 6 in Lagos and 2 others each in Kaduna and Anambra states.
The suspect carries out these activities with the collaboration of some of workers in the orphanage who are now on the run. 11 of the children have been rescued and recovered by the agency during this preliminary investigation period.
He tell us, say we go carry children go in school. We go come they see the children. Now if you go, we know they see the children. If you say the children there? He say divide them for school. We say to in which school? May we see them. You know, show us.
Past 2 years, I have not seen my pikin.
NAPTIP says it has opened discussion with other relevant agencies to rescue more children. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The federal government says it will continue to formulate policies and programs that will enhance the development of Nigerian youths. Minister Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dari reiterated this when a youth group paid him a visit in his office. Olayinka Uju reports.
The Federal Executive Council on Wednesday this week approved the establishment of the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, aimed at turning Nigerian youths into entrepreneurs, wealth creators, and employers of labor, thereby contributing to national development. With a minimum of 25 billion naira each year, 75 billion naira will be required in the next 3 years to ring-fence the Youth Investment Fund, which is a special window for accessing funds, finances, business management skills, and other inputs critical to sustainable enterprise. That decision has enthused the youths, and barely 72 hours, this group, under the auspices of APC Young Stakeholders, has come calling on the Minister of Youth Development to appreciate the federal government.
Most of us here are not going to be direct beneficiaries, but it is a legacy that whether anybody likes it or not, this is a legacy that this administration and this honorable minister are going to leave behind, that people are going to hopefully build upon.
500,000 beneficiaries will benefit at a single-digit interest rate of 5%.
It is a collective responsibility. It is not about you being the youth. It's the fact that in every home we have a youth who is looking to the system for support and advancement of their career. I'm tempted to mention a couple of names here.
The Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning and the Central Bank of Nigeria are to provide the financing to kickstart the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, while the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development sets up a Constitution of Board of Trustees Committee. Olayinka Uju, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with former Federal Commissioner for Information, Major General Ibrahim Haruna, on the landmark occasion of his 80th birthday. In a personally signed letter to the former General Officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, Kaduna, titled "An Officer and Gentleman Turns 80," the President said he is delighted to felicitate with him. The President says General Ibrahim Haruna lives a life that has impacted the country in diverse ways and deserves all the accolades that can come his way as he attains the landmark age. Back to our previous story, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has assured Lagos residents that the likely challenges due to the partial closure of the 3rd Mainland Bridge will be minimal. The ministry gave the assurance during an inspection of the bridge in preparation for the closure scheduled to begin at the stroke of midnight Friday, July 24th. Dr. Ogunyemi reports.
With plans already set for the closure of the 3rd Mainland Bridge at midnight today, 24th July 2020. This high-power delegation from the federal and state government is out to inspect some of the plans already put in place in terms of road diversions. The traffic management personnel as well as some of the alternative routes were also inspected, and earlier they were at a stakeholders conference where a meeting held and some of these issues were highlighted.
As the busiest bridge in Lagos shuts down for necessary repairs, motorists have been urged not to entertain any worries, as traffic disruption will only affect about 25% of regular traffic plying the bridge.
The 3rd Mainland Bridge will be available for
traffic at the peak period, both in the morning and in the evening. So the few vehicles that will be going off peak will now have to make use of all the alternatives that have been given out to the public.
We understand that there are more people in Lagos, and so you have the Carter Bridge option, you have the Eco Bridge option, you have the Costain option, and then to add to that, you have the water transport option, which we're making available.
This is one of the jetties just newly placed here for ease of traffic.
While traffic managers have mapped out their plans, the State Police Command says officers will be deployed to ensure 24 hours surveillance to prevent any crime.
Our men are out. We have given them motorcycles. The Commissioner of Police has reiterated and directed that the DPOs, their men, must be out 24/7.
We're going to run 2 shifts, and of course, most of these things will be a 24-hour thing, because even at night, you still need to be sure that people are guided properly.
And it is at this junction of Adekunle that motorists who have been diverted from Adeniji would now be able to interchange and continue on their journey towards Oworoshoki, while those who would have been diverted from the Adekunle end of Yaba would also be able to continue on their journey via the access ramp to Oworoshoki throughout the period of the partial closure. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
Sports news now. More consolations as COVID-19 continues to hit global sports. Ayodiji Makinde tells us more on Sports Update.